Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with a new drawing. We're going to go ahead and select your template that you've created. So remember, you have a new one for CAD 100 that will show up in that drop-down list. And we're going to work through dealing with our cursor, inputting points. How do we go about doing that when you're creating entities? So we're going to look at this bottom status bar. Currently the drawing coordinates are on my screen. We've got grid, we've got snap set, and the next one is what's called dynamic input. And anytime you see blue, these are turned on. If they're gray, they're turned off. So we simply click on that icon, and that's going to turn on the dynamic input. What dynamic input does is it automatically brings up different parts of your command at your cursor where your cursor is on your screen. So if you're trying to locate a point and it's asking you specify point, it will actually be putting that right there at the cursor, and it'll have these boxes that will give you an X, and you will put in your information for X, Y, and Z when you're doing 3D. You'll also see that this is dynamic for your coordinates. As you move your cursor around, these would be moving with that. If you do not have the coordinates turned on, the 3 lines at the very end of the status bar, you can go in and turn on the coordinates. So you will see I have several things checked. So you will want to check the one that says coordinates, and that will just turn that on. Then if you click on them, you will see that it's turned on. If you click again and it turns gray, then they're off. So that's how you're going to quickly turn things on and off at the status bar. So we'll be slowly going through all of these components in a later lesson. But let's just try out using our line command for now. So here's our line command. Anytime you hover over command, it's going to give you a short description, then eventually it's going to give you an image really explaining how does the line command work. So we're creating segments from point to point to point. So it's very important that you've understood the Cartesian coordinate system first. You know how to graph a point, positive X, positive Y, negative X, negative Y, and so forth. So we're going to add a few extra things to that today. But when you think in Cartesian coordinate system, in AutoCAD we call that absolute, meaning that all of your points are referenced back to the point of 0, 0, or the origin. So keep that in mind as we're working through this lesson, that we're going to be working in absolute for a few minutes. So I'm going to pick the line command, and again you will see now my cursor's on my screen, and it's asking me the same thing that it's asking at the command line. So if you look at the command line, it says specify first point, and you would be ready to start typing. So with the dynamic on your screen, you can actually see if there's a point you need to select on the grid at 3, 3, that's the value that's showing up in the boxes. Now if my snap and grid were not on, then I would basically be inputting those points. So let's just say I want to put in a point 1.625, that's my X, and then I put in a comma to separate X and Y. As soon as I do that, the box switches, it's highlighted for me to type in the new value, and it's locked the X value. So I can't go back and change that X. So it's very important that you pay attention to the numbers that you're hitting and you're putting in the absolute correct values. So we're going to go with 1.625, 1. So that's the first starting point. So now my line is ready to go to the second point or next point. And with the dynamic input on, I've got a lot of things happening. So it's taken me from what I was originally viewing in absolute, just an X, Y, to some other variation. This variation that you're seeing right now is called dynamic, meaning if I start to move my cursor in any direction, it's telling me the direction I'm moving, so there's your angle, and it's got a dimensional parameter with a number that's highlighted. That dynamic is waiting for you to put in the length of that line. So depending on what angle you might want to be at, which we may make a straight line, so we want to make sure we're feeding at a 0-degree angle, our line may be 4 inches long. So I could hit 4 and enter, and now I have a 4-inch long line starting at that 1.625, 1. And that works even on those angular lines. So if you can get to the angle that you were needing, so if I need a 45-degree line, With my snapping grid on, that's probably going to be really hard to do now. But without that on, I could probably get to a 45 degrees. So let's just go with if I can get down to a 30. There we go. So as long as your angle is feeding, I'm not always positive that it's feeding exactly on 30, because you never know what the decimal place is, because the units, when you remember setting up the units, we didn't set the precision to the decimal degrees. We just left it at full degrees. So I really technically may be at 30.09876 degrees. That's not really 30. So again, our goal is always for accuracy. But just for this demonstration, just to make sure you understand dynamic, if I have a line at 8 inches on a 30-degree angle, I can get the dynamic showing up. So I've got 30 degrees showing, type in 8, and hit enter. And I will go back, we will talk about how to set that where you know you're on a 30-degree angle. But that is your dynamic. So let's try a line now again using absolute. So let's say that this line truly is at a 45-degree angle. So that means X and Y are both equal. So a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the X and the Y sides are equal. So then I can go at simply typing in whatever that distance to that point. Now in absolute, from where I'm sitting, I have to think all the way back to where is 0, 0. Well, 0, 0 is way over here. So I already went 1.625, then I went 4, and then I went 8. So I really don't know what the X was here because it was at a 30-degree angle. So how would I know that next line? That is where the next type of value input happens, and it's called relative. Relative just simply means if I'm going to move to a point, that I'm coming from the previous point. So it's like taking 0, 0 and picking it up and moving to that last point you drew, which makes it really easy, because then I can say I'm going to go 1, 1 and hit enter, and it automatically will draw a line that goes X1 and Y1. Your computer, when you downloaded AutoCAD, it is automatically set up with relative as the most popular input value with dynamic input. So if I needed to go back to an absolute, and if you look at the command line here, you'll notice I never typed in that at symbol. I just typed in 1, 1. The at symbol is how you transition in AutoCAD from different types of input values. So from an absolute to a relative, the at symbol is there. Since AutoCAD has already recognized relative as the most frequently used, the at symbol is already included. So if I needed to go back to relative, I would actually type in a pound sign. And then let's just say I want my line to be back at that 1.625 in X, comma, but we're going to move it at, let's just say 6 in the Y. So it moved it all the way back vertically above my first point and at whatever the Y distance was that I had in the value. So that's the difference between the absolute and the relative. We're still dealing with X comma Y. We just need to know if it's coming from 0, 0 or if it's coming from a previous point. In most cases, when you start learning how to read dimensions on a drawing, you move from point to point to point, and you don't really work back in absolute values. Another thing here, since we're working in the line command, just so you can see how this functions, as we've moved through specify next point, specify next point, specify next point, in parentheses you will see at the command line we have two options. We have a close option and an undo option. This undo is different than the undo that you have at the very top of your screen. That actually undoes the most recent thing. This undo within the command actually will undo that line that I just drew. So if I type in the first letter, or if I even move my cursor down here and select on it, you see it undoes. So now I'm just going to go back and put that value back in. The next thing I want you to look at is the one that says close. So if we have stayed in a continuous loop, meaning I've drawn point to point to point to point to point, and then all of a sudden I'm down to the last line. It really should connect back at the very beginning. Then that's what the close option does for you. It will just automatically close. So I've hit C, I'm hitting enter, closes that entire loop, and I don't have to know what that coordinate value is anymore. So that's how we're going to be using our Cartesian coordinate system in what's called an absolute and relative positioning. Using the line command, you know that there is the close option and the undo option within the command. You also have your grid function. If you actually wanted to count grid, you could draw lines that start directly on a grid point and say, okay, I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives me an inch, and pick a next point on a grid. So there's different ways to input these values, but you will learn that counting grid takes way too long. That's not a preferred practice. But using absolutes and relatives, relatives are a little faster than using absolute values. In our next video, we're going to look at one more way of putting in our values called polar.